part of the New Image Project of the Community Development and Training Center, aka See That.
See that.
And we'd like to thank y'all for tuning in and helping us to redefine what's cool. I can hear you good.
Okay, because smart
Is
the new
gangsta.
And that's called John DMC right there.
That's right. That's right. And if you don't know, now you know.
Family. I want to thank you so very much for the opportunity to come into your homes, into your cars, and whenever you may be listening to this broadcast, we certainly appreciate you because this is your show, 99.1 FM. WJM 99 Jams, the Bird, Karen Fester Radio.
Right on, right on, right on. And I mean, we got a bunch of shows, a lot of good programming right here at 99 Jams. So give a shout out to Don J, Tony Charles, Sister Hughes, Super Dave with the old school flavor show. Man,
Surefire.
Surefire. Oh, yeah, he's on in the afternoon, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's up with B-Lo? I thought I saw B-Lo one of these days. We gotta pull up on DJ B-Lo because I saw him saying he was gonna be joining the family too.
Okay.
Michelle T. Fanger, Haitian Radio with Dr. Morency, DJ Iron Lion. Ça passe. Naboulé. Danny D, Sniper, R1, Z-Man, Franco. That has been canceled.
Mm-hmm.
We will be back on the third Saturday of next month for the community conversation, canvas, and cookout with your council member. I know it's a mouthful, but yeah, y'all stick around for it. We'll be putting it out. But tomorrow's has been canceled due to unforeseen circumstances. We also want to encourage everybody to come out to the business district visioning session, the strategic visioning session on Monday, August 28th at 6 p.m. All are welcome. And then we also want to remind you that the new deal for St. Pete reunion is Thursday, August 31st, 2023 at 6 p.m. At the Health Equity Center. So y'all make sure that y'all stick around for that. Brother Donnie the Professor.
Yes, sir.
Thawubona.
Show.
Thawubona.
Shawbona.
Sayubona.
Yeah, this
I
close.
still ain't got it.
So press your tongue to the side of your teeth in your mouth and say "sha."
I can't get that motion.
Wait,
Shawbona.
Sayubona.
Shawbona.
Sayubona.
Oh man, there's a thing it's called Zulu, the language of love.
The language of love?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Or you can mac in Zulu.
Okay.
You can put it down in Zulu.
You can get down in Zulu.
Ooh.
Yeah. They got some words that you can really
There's a line that says,
play with.
That says, Like lele, una shaba with tu.
Oh, that sound cool.
Shabeleju.
No, don't mess it up like that. Don't.
Una shaba with.
No, just because you didn't find it attractive don't mean nobody else
No, I
didn't.
think it was good, but when you did it.
That's what I said. No,
Oh, okay.
hey,
Somebody else might, but
you don't know what I go for in that market.
but
So you know
see,
what? Everybody got a market. No.
but here's the thing: you might be saying your dog is ugly because the way you say you don't know what you actually saying.
But they
you
might
just think it sound good.
Yeah, they might think it sound good too.
That sounds smooth. What it mean?
If you had to guess, what do you think it said?
I don't know.
Guess.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. I am not.
If you scared, say you scared.
I'm scared.
If you scared,
I'm scared.
say you
Look,
scared.
we had that. Look, I told you we had the peer pressure conversation real early. I got in so much trouble with that one.
So bouncing up, you want to stay on the continent for a second?
Yeah, let's stay on
Let's
that.
go to Habarigani.
Okay.
Habarigani, Kiswahili is the universal African language on the continent. Habarigani means what's the news, or you'll say, what's up? Habarigani.
What's the news?
And the appropriate response is, come on, y'all. Remember?
I usually do it during Kwanzaa, so it'll be like
this
emoji,
the battle.
or
This the
be,
battle.
Yeah.
This the battle, right?
Habarigani is what's the news? The response will be, yeah, I think you're on it. Uhuru Sasa.
Uhuru Sasa. Yeah.
Uhuru Sasa.
Uhuru Sasa.
Uhuru Sasa. And that's general because I get what's the news. I heard it through Kwanzaa, and it's like the Kwanzaa greeting, Habaragani, and then you do whatever day of Kwanzaa it is. So if it's Kuji Chagulia, then that's the news. Or if it's Ujima, then that's the news. Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
That's right on. So
Go
you can
ahead.
see the linguistic plasticity.
Right.
Because you have Niyat, meaning intentions.
Okay.
In Kwanzaa, one of the days is Nia.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Well, the word Nia comes from the Arabic word Niyat.
Okay.
And the Niyat is when you make your intention to say your prayer. The first thing you do is you make your intention, right?
Right.
So that's where the word Nia, Niyat comes from.
So my intention is to have a great show this morning.
And we will. We absolutely will. Because we got the book of the day. We got This Week in History. And we're going to talk about these high light bills, man.
Yes.
We're also going to provide some tips on how you can, try and do some stuff about that light bill, too. Because we don't want to just like gloom and doom you. So we got some suggestions that have been given to us by our friends in the energy industry on ways that you can, try and do something about the bill, but it ain't gonna do what we trying to get. We ain't from what I read, it ain't gonna give you what we trying to do. Like we trying to like.
So we got hit with the extra cost.
Yeah, we gonna talk about it.
Okay,
but guess where you can't say bonjour at?
Where?
Here,
Francophone West Africa.
Bonjour.
You can't.
You know why?
Why?
Because they just bounce French as their lingua franca in Mali and in Niger and in Chad and in Mauritania and in Burkina Faso when they kicked out the French imperialists last week.
Oh,
so you can't say bonjour over there.
You can say it, but they'll look at you like you got 9 heads. You better greet them in either in indigenous language or in Arabic, because they said no more will we speak this man's tongue, because we don't want this man's mind in our heads and we don't want his hands in our pockets. Bye. Wow. And then when the U.S. said they were going to put sanctions on Niger, the people of Niger said, that's fine. Keep the money that you were going to send us and feed your homeless.
Ooh. You talking about expanding your gangster, boy.
That's gangster.
Boy, keep that charity and feed your own people.
We good over here.
Yeah, we good over here.
We good over here.
Right,
we good over here.
I want to give a big applause. This is me. I want to give a big applause to the revolutionaries in Niger and Burkina Faso and Guinea and all the places that they're bouncing the Frank and the French out of West Africa. That's one less colonizer to be on African land.
And the Frank, is that the dollar? That like their dollar?
That's the French currency.
The French currency, yeah.
That's supported by Africa. You know, Niger has the largest stores of uranium on the planet Earth.
Okay, I did not know
Wakanda.
That. I did not.
It is.
Say Wakanda.
It definitely is.
For real.
I'm telling you. So.
For real.
Hopefully they'll rename the nation too from Niger to something else.
Okay, right on. Man.
Good morning, Crystal.
So can we do This Week in History? Y'all gonna like this one.
Go ahead.
You know do you know what today is?
Today is Friday, August 17th.
And it also it's Kool-Aid Day.
I make Kool-Aid for my family.
You still drink Kool-Aid, brother?
I haven't had Kool-Aid in years, bro. But Kool-Aid used to hit hard in the dorm.
Okay.
Orange Kool-Aid too.
Okay. I was gonna ask, what's your favorite Kool-Aid flavor?
Cold orange Kool-Aid.
Orange, I like red. I'm a red guy.
Yeah, I'm a red. I'm red too.
It ain't strawberry. It ain't cherry. It's red.
If I would, I'm a cherry.
Okay.
I like grape.
Put it in the chat, y'all. Let us know what your favorite Kool-Aid flavor is. So talk to me.
Kool-Aid was one of my first contradictions.
Okay. Tell me how.
I smelled it and then I tasted it.
Okay.
Just straight out the pack.
Okay.
If you ever smell Kool-Aid straight out the pack,
it smells sweet.
It don't it though.
Yeah.
But when you taste it.
Oh, it's bitter. If you don't put that
okay, yeah, because you smell it and you think, it's gonna taste like
Kool-Aid taught me a lesson in contradictions real fast.
I got you.
Right, because when you smell it, you think, it's going down.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's going down. It's not going down until you add that sugar.
Oh, man.
Was it Bill Bellamy? I make picture out the picture. Wasn't it his comedy show? I make Kool-Aid for my family.
I don't know, cause I didn't see it, but it sounded like it was a trip.
Y'all remember the Kool-Aid scene on House Party?
Yeah,
when they was making Kool-Aid for that sugar.
That sounded about right.
Jab say mango and watermelon mix.
Okay, so Jab's still
Y'all
on it.
late.
Jab's still on it.
Yeah.
So Kool-Aid is the official soft drink of Nebraska. Kool-Aid, an American brand of powdered drink, for those who don't know, is now owned by Kraft Heinz. It was invented by Edward Perkins in Hastings, Nebraska. And Kool-Aid Day is celebrated the second week in August. And it coincides with the first day of Kool-Aid Days. There's actually a festival that they do. So they got in Nebraska, like it's a thing.
It's a thing.
So the festival is held from Friday the 19th to Sunday the 21st. This year, the theme is Mango-nificent. So Jab, I think you own something.
You own something, Jab.
Yeah, you own something, Jab.
I don't think I've ever had mango Kool-Aid before.
Me either. That's a
But
newfangled
you
thing.
done made some, like, not like, I haven't had mango Kool-Aid, but you never made like Kool-Aid and then put your pineapple juice in it.
Yeah.
And then you put like the different juices. Because I used to be the flip lady.
Okay. And you use Kool-Aid? Kool-Aid was your?
With some juice, like regular juice, and put it
I was
in
about
that.
to say, because like frozen Kool-Aid, if it ain't made right, it's just water.
It is. But if it's made right.
Yeah, if it's made right, you own the
Those are
something.
the kind of flips that you throw.
Yeah.
Because Brother John, I know about that.
Yeah.
When you flip it over, you suck, and all of the flavors at that bottom, you throw those kind of.
throw them. Yeah, you throw them.
get that ice, and that ice going.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Right
it.
on 18th.
Yeah.
Whoever driving by.
That's
Jab
true.
don't
say
do that.
we late.
Yeah, we're not advocating
Throwing Kool-Aid ice.
throwing frozen cups of Kool-Aid.
Yeah,
Good
those
morning,
were our
Roy.
snowball fights back in the day, man. My father used to make that Project Kool-Aid though.
Okay.
We mixed the grape and lemonade.
Oh yeah,
The Joe and Paul special.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes,
man,
sir.
That was
Yes,
all
sir.
right, boy. Right
It's
before
kinda
I
like-
paid for.
It's like the soda. When you was younger, you go through the soda machine, they put all the different
That's
flavors
it.
in there.
That's right. That's exactly how it
You
goes.
was a soda mixologist.
A soda mixology.
Not
Right on.
really, but I mean, I done mix the ices.
Okay.
I like to mix the ices.
You got to.
Yeah, but they said Mango-nificent is the theme this year.
Mhm.
There are many fun activities to go around during the festival. There's a Kool-Aid drinking contest, a parade, a fun run, and boat races. So if you live near or around Nebraska, you can participate in these events. But if you don't, there are things that you can do at home to celebrate with your favorite pack of Kool-Aid, because today is Kool-Aid Day.
You know, people used to dye their hair with Kool-Aid.
I was gonna say Kool-Aid used to be a ghetto cosmetic back
Okay.
in the day.
I wonder who was the first one to think of that, though. Like, if I put this in my head.
You want me to? Somebody was really high and was like,
Okay, yeah, that sounds like something that you don't do sober.
If I put this red in my hat, it's
Professor,
Kool-Aid
that ain't
right
something you do
here.
sober. That ain't a sober
What
experiment.
you think?
It was probably a group too. It was probably a
You
group.
tried.
It was a
You
group.
want purple?
No, it was like, you slack, because you got to, how you do the
Yeah, you got it.
Might have been a dare. I bet you won't put it on your head.
Ooh, I triple dare you.
All right, what you gonna give me?
I give you my whole Kool-Aid
I'm gonna do it.
packages for
Boom.
the whole month if you do it.
Boom, it's done. Oh, you know what? It turned my head red. I'm gonna do it too now. Now we
You
got
gonna
the
share my
ghetto
Kool-Aid
cut.
with me?
No,
Dang.
10 cents a pack though. We oughta knew something was up though.
Yeah, cause it used to be cheaper.
What's that? A nickel or something like that?
Yeah, but it might
Yeah.
be more than 10 cents now, is it?
I don't know. I ain't had Kool-Aid since the last time I had Kool-Aid. I can't even remember when the last time I had Kool-Aid
The
was.
flip lady is a staple though in our communities, man.
Yeah.
We really got to give a shout out to the flip lady because
Please,
the flip lady taught a lot of us
please.
about economics, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Ain't
we
never
got some
paid
good
no
flip ladies.
taxes. Either.
Yeah.
Flip lady was a tax evader.
Yeah. I mean, no, we ain't gonna say that, but we gonna shout out to the tax to the
Well,
taxpayer flip
So
ladies
let's say that.
around the
Well,
world.
actually, if she made under 10,000,
Okay. Yeah.
she didn't have to pay taxes.
The flip those used to be swinging.
Whoa, man, the flip was those were the first
Yeah.
trap, man. The
Yeah.
flip lady house,
Yeah.
and she had to put hours on the door.
Actually,
Because kids in
Yeah.
the summertime, kids gonna come up 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, we used to go to Mom right there on 38th Street, right on the corner, right across from the entrance of Twin Brooks right there.
mm,
And she used to stay there, and she was our flip lady. When we take the money that we got selling golf balls that we got out the ditch and
Come
go
on
buy
now.
flips from her. So she
well, wasn't
was a
nothing
part of the local economy.
funnier than the kids who stole the money from their house
to go get a flip.
and then they got in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a quick punishment. Or the flip lady or the flip house runner. The person who will run to the flip lady house to take the orders.
Yeah.
That was Big Chris. That was Big Chris running. Big Chris would take all the orders and then come back with bags full of.
So he's going down the side. Well, he's going down 22nd to go over there tomorrow. Yeah. Shout out to all of them. So also Larry Bird retired on this day in 1992, and the 19th Amendment giving women the right to vote was ratified on this day in 1920.
Shout out to Fellsmere, Florida, the first city in Florida that allowed women to have the franchise. Right there in Indian River County on the East Coast. And shout out to all my Fellsmere swamp rabbits.
Okay.
I love y'all.
What is that?
Frog leg eaters. It's between Vero Beach and Brevard County.
Okay.
So before you get to Grand, if you're going down, let's say on A1A, before you get to Grand on 95, then you'll hit a little small town. You can throw a rock right out of it full of orange groves, alligators, and pretty ladies.
And that's why they ain't had no problem with them voting.
Yeah, because there was a lot of them.
Yeah.
So shout out to Indian River County, East Florida.
Right on.
Space Coast.
So we got a book of the day?
All right.
We do have a book of the day, but it's tied in to our discussion about these amazing invoices that we're getting in the mail.
So would you like to do the would you rather first then?
Yeah, that would you rather something else.
Would you rather? Let's do it.
Okay, so would you rather be rich with no friends or poor and popular? Now here you go.
Rich and no friends.
Poor and I'm gonna be poor and popular.
I second that.
I'm gonna take rich and no friends.
Just because he want to be.
You gonna do it?
I'm gonna take the opposite position.
You gonna take that? Rich and no
friends.
friends.
So why rich and no friends?
There's a good movie called Boss of Bosses. It's about Paul Castellano. Paul Castellano was the Gambino boss from roughly 1976 until he was murdered in 1985. So he goes to the bedside of Don Carlo Gambino, and he goes to get blessed to be the new godfather of the Brigada, of the family. And Carlo Gambino says, listen, I'm not giving you a gift. I'm cursing you right now. Because when I put all of these billions of dollars that we make and our ill-gotten gains in your hands, you will not be liked, Paul.
Wow.
You're going to be rich, but you won't be liked.
Okay.
So I think that it's something with people who are powerless or people who come from environments of being powerless to where we actually value people and we value relationships that we make with people. You'll notice that in this system, as people become more and more powerful, they don't care how much they're liked. So I think we can probably make the assumption, or at least we can argue the point that when you're powerful, you don't have to be liked.
So you don't want to be liked, right? But you still have people.
Everybody kind of want to be.
No. But they do. That's what I'm saying.
But if you're not, you're all right with it.
No, because you have somebody that loves you. Somebody loves you.
So rich with no friends.
But you don't got nobody that love you. So you don't got no significant other.
I ain't really that friendly.
You be saying rich and no friends. So I'm saying poor and popular because, I mean, honestly, they already know I'm poor. Clearly, they like me because I'm their friend. So, I mean, rich people don't mind doing charity at times. So, like, if they go to an expensive
maybe that's why
restaurant,
they ain't got no friends because they ain't doing no charity. If you rich and no friends,
well, if you lonely, because if you're lonely with no friends, you're gonna invite everybody out just to hang out every now and then, just so you can have some type of entertainment. So I'm gonna be a part of that entertainment.
Okay. Cook up a little food, throw a little party.
I get to eat off your dime and then go head on, and then you could just go back to your little miserable little something.
Rich and no friends, though. See, I think it's a difference between being liked and having friends, because you can not be liked but still have friends.
Then they're not your friend.
No, I'm saying, like, if you got, that's what, I don't know. I had it and then I lost it.
Yeah, because like if they don't like you, you're not their friend. Like you just somebody that they tolerate.
Are you friends with somebody you don't like? Y'all can't see the face.
And a hush.
And a hush came over the room. I think you could be friends with somebody. I mean, no, because that's King
people I don't
You can
like.
be friendly, but you probably wouldn't be friends.
Right.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah, I can't be friends with somebody I don't like.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Now that I say it out loud.
You be say you can buy a phony company.
You can buy, no, but that ain't what you want.
I mean, honestly, if you want to be,
and your wealth might be able to keep you company too. If you think about that, I mean, some people are very comfortable in knowing that they're extremely wealthy.
Yeah, it's an accomplishment.
So then, who you gonna give your money to? Because you don't got no friends. That means you probably don't have no family.
You
got
family.
Well, if I could have my family, I'd be
because you can pick your friends, not your family. Ain't that
so if it's my family, if I keep my family, then I'm gonna be rich with no friends.
If you can keep your family,
if I can keep my family,
you'll take the money and no friend. I still be. I do the I'll be popular and poor.
Yes, if I can have my family, because we hang out anyway.
Because if we popular and poor, if it's enough of us, we can get rich.
What I've noticed but so rich is still okay. Oh no.
We can't get rich.
No, so
we have to stay poor.
No. But when you get rich, then if we're gonna stay in the parameters of the would you rather, when you get rich, then do you have to
lose
all your friends?
You lose your friends. So you start out with your friends while you poor and popular, but as soon as you get rich, you lose your friends. That sounds like a narrative.
That's paid in full. That's rich. That's Rich Porter and Apple and AZ. So Faison.
Okay, check out what my wife said. Good morning, sweetie. She said, "Morning." It depends on what you define as being rich.
Ooh.
Money.
Okay. And she said, "And I'm taking the money." Right? That sounds about right, sweetie. That's about right.
So that's
well, you wouldn't have met your brother John because he was your friend first.
Yeah, we was. Well, we would have. Yeah.
You won't be Miss Muhammad
on the path to getting rich.
Yeah,
that was the plan.
That was the plan. Yeah, that was the plan. That was the plan.
So
good morning, Mama Blue.
The question now is Q and Brother John. Y'all got to explain this to me now.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So let's just say that's the scenario, right? How many people are friends with their family members and or their spouse?
I am.
That ain't he said how many?
That you can think about. Like, I mean.
So if we had to like put a percentage, maybe 50, 40%.
And it's hyperbole.
Yeah. I'm just thinking who, I don't know. Because I'm like friends with my wife is my friend. She's my best friend.
Is that a prerequisite for a spouse to be your friend?
It should. But I mean,
I think so. I think so.
So here you go. I believe that the two people in a relationship define it because sometimes that don't work for it. Mm-hmm. But I want my spouse to be my friend. Mm. I want us to be rocking and rolling.
So you saying with the two people defining the relationship, like they might be all right with not being each other's friends.
Right. Because it may just be a contract. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
It may work for them that like, yo, because you see people come in and get married for different reasons.
Mm-hmm. Like George Washington Duke. We'll go back to him later. We'll check in with him later. Remember that name, George Washington Duke.
Okay.
No, keep going, Q. Keep going. You were talking about people who marry for different reasons.
Right, they do. They marry for financial gain. Mm-hmm. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then some people marry to cover their other lives.
Mm.
What you mean?
Like their beard, like somebody, they're gay. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
So that's why you get married?
But they don't want to be out in the public. So to present as a heterosexual couple, they'll marry and stay married. You see it in the political field sometimes because it's not accepted. And so
I got you. That's social contract.
Right. And so listen, you're going to be. So people marry for different reasons. Everybody don't marry for love.
Yeah, that's true.
Have you guys ever heard of a closeted straight person?
A closeted straight person?
I
have never heard of that.
I've never heard of a closeted straight person. I'm sure closeted straight people must exist.
How? How does so that's the term too. Cisgender right now is the
if anybody
identify, it's the identifier.
It's identifier, yeah, cisgender. And I just saw somebody posting like they just found out that they were cisgender.
What's cisgender?
But that don't mean that they're closeted. See, look.
Yeah.
What's cisgender?
Cisgender means that you operate in the gender role that's traditionally assigned to the people who have what you have as genitalia when you're born. So in other words, people would call me a cis hetero man, meaning that I'm a hetero, quote unquote, heterosexual. These terms are ridiculous, but a quote unquote heterosexual man who still operates as a man and a male in society as far as what my gender is reflected.
This doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sorry. So like
cisgender just means you operate as the way that
you would be considered a cis woman.
The way that you were physically born,
right,
and you operate that way. So if you were born as a man and you operate as a man, you would be cisgender.
So
if you were born as a woman and you operate as a woman,
so that's just a straight man or a straight woman.
It's cisgender now.
Cisgender instead of straight.
Who made this up?
A lot of psychologists.
Kiwi said, I think your spouse should be your friend before anything. Before anything. So like before they become your spouse, they should be your friend.
I agree, but I'm back to the cisgender. But I'm gonna
okay. So cisgender.
I get it. But why did we have to make a whole nother like lane for something that was already like defined? Like I'm like this was all like.
You ready? Because this can be explained in about 2 minutes.
Okay, please and thank you. But Kiwi say, don't call me cis nothing. Yeah.
It works on a thing called a logical fallacy called ambiguity.
Okay.
So normally we assume that if A is B and B is C, then A is C. But then we're presented with a very difficult philosophical and logical and rhetorical problem. And that is, what happens when A and B are ambiguous and C is supposed to be the conclusion? Let me give you an example. If I were to tell you that Donnie is a short basketball player, what am I saying?
You're a short basketball player.
At playing basketball.
Well, how am I being described as a short basketball player, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? It's ambiguous.
It's ambiguous,
right? Yeah. Because suppose I was 6'4", but I played in the NBA, I would be considered a short basketball player.
Okay.
Because the category that they're comparing me with are NBA basketball players, but that qualifier wasn't given there. It was just given Donnie is, so you associate Donnie as a guy, short basketball player who plays basketball, which meaning I could be 5 foot even, or I could be 6'4".
Because 6'4" would be short in
the NBA.
Okay.
Compared to the set of individuals that I am comparing myself to relatively. If I have a dog, all right, this is Socrates. So if I have a dog, right?
If the camera was on me right now.
Yeah, because listen, Kiana's telling it all with her eyes. If I have a dog, right, and my dog sires a litter of puppies, then that dog is still my dog, and that dog is the father of those puppies, and I have that dog. That means I have a father. That means that dog is my father? No. That just means that I have a father, but that father is not my human father. So I have to give qualifiers. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that's the way it is. So the term cis is given as a qualifier in relationship to trans. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I know. Yeah. I definitely get what you're saying. Like, I'm there with you.
Right on.
I'm there with you. I just don't.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, y'all, it's Freestyle Friday. I see the phone ringing.
Yeah, it is. And you know who it is? It's
Yubi.
Good morning. But the cisgender thing is turned into women take it as a derogatory term, because what it's saying is that the transgender woman, you are the sister to the transgender woman.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but cis is spelled CIS.
So, yeah, CIS.
Yeah, but it is CIS, but it's in relation. It's a transgender term made up in relation to the woman, saying you are the sister gender to the gender that we've become.
So that's is that the origin story, Yubi?
Yep, that's exactly where it comes from. Seriously, that's where it comes from. Seriously.
Oh, wow.
And that's why women take offense to it, because they already women. How could you dare call them a cisgender when they already identify as the female gender? And that's the argument of who, a real woman is the transgender real woman. That's the argument with that. And actually, they jumped on the comedian lady about the same thing, about her saying, "Hey, don't call me cisgender. I'm not your cis. I'm already." Yeah, just hilarious. They jumped all over her.
Oh yeah,
about
I
that.
saw that. No, I appreciate
Yeah,
that,
but
but I'm looking at it. Cisgender says denoting or relating to a person whose gender identity corresponds with the sex registered for them at birth, not transgender.
Right.
Right. So that's kind
right.
of what
So
he
So the
just
so
said.
cisgender is not
the
transgender.
transgender
Okay, I
person
got it.
is calling the person that's already a female a cisgender.
Cisgender.
You're a sister, like a
So that's okay. I
cisgender
hear what you're
to
saying.
me.
So it's like a designation for okay. Instead of just saying female, they saying
Hey,
cisgender
yeah.
because
Right, because they trying to include themselves
on
into
that
the female
Like
the
we
spectrum.
gender.
So
we
it's like the spectrum.
sisters. We
Okay.
sisters. Like in that
Yeah.
kind of in that way. Like,
But
Like sister wives. Am I the
Okay.
wife or am I the sister wife? It's only one real wife.
Okay. And
Am I the wife or am I the sister wife?
and you're right. This is actually when you look at the origin and talks about English, it's an English origin and it's from the 1990s. And so cisgender is a relatively new term. It's about what, 30,
Exactly.
30 years old now.
And a lot of women do take it as a derogatory term because it's almost like insulting to them that they already female and you're trying to call them a sister to the transgender female as if the transgender is the female.
Well,
It makes no sense.
Yeah,
It makes no sense. Is that
No, I appreciate you calling, UB. And Royce,
all right?
Royce said, I'm really confused now.
Okay, so that
Miss Teresa said, cis merely means that you identify with the gender you were born with.
So historically,
I'm trying to figure out how we got here too, though. We was on Would You Rather.
Historically, in African societies, this was dealt with.
Okay.
Now, I don't know how much time we have, but I can explain.
Let's do another minute on that, and we can set up
let's put me on the clock. You ready for this one?
Yep. Go.
What determined if a female was a woman? Ready? Because this is gonna be gonna be a big one. Ready for this?
Yeah.
She completed her rites of passage as a woman.
Okay.
What determined if a male was a man? He completed his rites of passage as a man.
Mm-hmm.
Problem solved.
That was it.
So when you ask them, well, what is a woman? They would say someone who completed the rite of passage.
Call in, Miss Teresa.
As a woman. If you ask them what was a man, they would say, well, that's a boy who completed the rite of passage as a man. Very simple.
Because being a male didn't make you a man.
No, not at all.
There were things you had to do in order to become a man.
Yes.
And those things, and I guess, is that also like how they do bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs?
Exactly.
That's the same kind of rites of passage.
Yep.
Like it's not just, a gender assignment, but it's a certain growth and development function.
Yes, sir.
Where you become now, you go from a boy into a man, but just being a male don't make you a man.
Not at all.
I see what you did there.
And that's how we solve that problem.
That's fine. But I'm just trying to say, like, as a woman, right? A heterosexual woman. And again, I don't want to like hurt anybody's feelings or anything like that. But who asked me if I wanted to be cisgender?
The same person who asked you if you wanted to be African American or Negro or
and
colored.
They never asked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just think like the term, I mean,
our book of the day is right on all of that.
I'm just saying, like, like you're terming something like when I look like the LBGQ, I don't want to mess it up. So, because I want to be respectful.
Yes, give us the views expressed button.
Right. I'm just saying the views expressed is up Kiana and not everybody else and not even 99.1. Like, like you were looking for, you wanted titles, like, you know what I mean? You got identity. I was okay with my title and my identity. Why do I have to have another one?
So here's the thing for me.
I'm just asking.
It's not what they call you, it's what you answer to.
This is true. So that's what we'll leave it at.
Yeah. So
I agree. There you go.
That was the Would You Rather.
I don't know how. Somewhere over there, being rich with no friends
led us to a conversation about cisgender.
Because then we asked about family. Like how many people? That's how.
And I asked about
we don't have to retrace the steps.
We asked about closeted straight people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And we said that wasn't a thing that we've ever known to exist.
Right.
Because we don't have the power to create the categories in which we live in.
Right.
Someone else does.
Yeah. Or do we? Is that that's the Kwanzaa we talking about? Kwanzaa, is that Kujichagulia?
Kujichagulia, self-determination.
Self-determination, the ability to name ourselves and determine our fate and our future for ourselves is another one of the things that we're looking to reclaim So look, we got 3 minutes before the break, and I want to let y'all know that when we come back, we're going to be talking about a few things, but mainly we're going to talk about these high electric bills and then some things that you can do to do it. But while we talking about this too, is I think we can do this in like 2 minutes. There was a press conference yesterday about sextortion. So sextortion, there's a spike in sextortion cases locally. And so the St. Pete police actually received a dozen sextortion receipts. I'm being distracted. I'm sorry.
No problem.
The St. Pete Police Department have received a dozen of sextortion reports, often involving teen boys, and they are perpetrated by organized crime rings that cost residents thousands of dollars. Do you know what sextortion is?
No, is there a definition for it?
So sextortion basically is when somebody is extorting money from someone else by threatening to release nude photos or videos of them. And they said multiple victims have committed suicide, according to some local FBI reports. And long story short, again, trying to do this in these next 2 minutes, there are these organized crime rings that set up fake pages, particularly on Snapchat, because they're targeting teenage boys from wealthy families, and they exchange nude photos. And then the sextortion begins when they threaten the person to show the photos, or they have to send them money.
That's an old game.
Yeah.
They did that to J. Edgar Hoover. And that's what made him not pursue the Italian mafia, the Cosa Nostra.
Sextortion.
It's sextortion because they had videos of himself and his lovers, him dressing and dragging himself and his lovers. They also did the same thing to Roy Cohn, who was the lawyer for a lot of the mob bossed up guys, including Donald Trump. He was Donald Trump's mentor. That's why Donald Trump said,
I saw a documentary on
right. He yelled.
Roy
He said, "What is where's my Roy Cohn?"
Yeah.
But this was often done. This was done in England against the organized crime figures. This is old news, man.
Yeah, and that's it. And so I guess there's a spike here in the Tampa Bay area, because that press conference yesterday was highlighting that and providing some tips. They said there's a 14-year-old boy whose family recently made nearly $15,000 in payments because of sextortion. They said we've had 15 cases alone in the last week. And so you can imagine how many there are nationwide. The officials actually announced the influx of sextortion cases back in June. Holloway said that the FBI they joined with the FBI with this local fight to combat this increasing problem. And so, it's just people preying on, people, and you get comfortable with somebody, comfortable enough to send them a new photo or video. And then then they do it.
There's a solution.
It is.
Instead of sending the payment, send a fixer. So instead of sending the payments,
you stay on the views expressed. keep the views expressed.
If you're being exploited, is the email is usjj@outlook.com.
Okay.
Send that information to your brother, the intellectual gangster, and we'll see how we can get this problem fixed.
That's right. Kiva said we learned early not to send things via text or internet that you wouldn't want to get out. And some more comments in the chat. They're going back and forth still about the cisgender. So I appreciate that dialogue. Right. So look, y'all, we're going to take a break. We're not taking a break. Okay. We're going to keep going.
Okay.
So we're not going to take the break. We're just going to roll right into it.
Okay.
So we're going to keep the party going. Let y'all know that you're listening to WUJM 99 Jams the Berg, the new morning show right here on 99.1 FM. And make sure that y'all tap in. There's a few ways that you can do it too. You can actually listen online at 99jamstheberg.com. If you're here on Facebook, then of course, you can get us on Facebook, but we also on YouTube, y'all. So if you want to go to YouTube, or if you know somebody who's on YouTube and they're not on Facebook, you can catch us there. And then the other thing that you can do is download the TuneIn Radio app. So you can go to TuneIn Radio on your phone and then download the TuneIn Radio app. And when you get there, the handle for us is WUJM-LP. St. Petersburg, and so you can actually find us there as well. So how you want to do this? You want to do the book of the day first and then talk about these bills?
Let's talk about the bills first.
Okay.
And then that'll ride us into the book of the day.
Okay. I got you.
It's pretty interesting though. Oh, and I want to say for a point of clarity, They're spelling cis, C-I-S, not S-I-S.
Right.
They're homophones, but they're not synonyms.
Right.
So cis is there's not synonyms. I mean, we take words and we spin them.
Oh yeah.
So that they mean different things, but this is spelled C-I-S, not S-I-S. Just
Right.
want to let
Right.
you know that.
No, and I get that,
Yeah.
but I appreciate the clarification because it is some folks who might need to know that.
Right.
So increasing energy costs, y'all. What we want to do is discuss how these energy costs have steadily been rising due to a bunch of factors. They say supply chain disruptions, increased demand, and fluctuations in fuel prices. The impacts of how that these things are having on our households is horrendous. When you think about the vulnerable populations that are subject to, these increased bills, like I'm gonna tell you, man, I wasn't ready. When I got my bill, I want to say 2 months ago, it was jaw dropping, right? And then the month after that was even more jaw droppinger.
Did your kilowatt hours match the amount that you were charged?
I need to really go out there and take a look.
Very few people actually do that.
Actually look at the kilowatt hours. And so what we want to do as we begin to have this conversation about these high and ridiculous bills, we want to get the whole story. So Brother Donnie, the professor, can you tell us what's going on with these bills, man?
Here we go. Let's get the whole story. Well, the whole story begins in 1776.
Uh-oh.
Not with the founding of the United States of America, but with a book called On the Wealth of Nations by a man named Adam Smith.
Okay.
Adam Smith lays out the fundamental pillars for what is called capitalism.
Okay.
Now, you get two words that also enter the English lexicon in 1776. The first one is individual, because that word did not exist in the English lexicon.
Individual?
Individual didn't exist until 1776.
Okay.
And you get the word career. That word did exist, but it referred to a group of horses that pull a carriage.
Was a career.
It was a career of horses. You have a flock of birds, a school of fish, a murder of crows, and a career of horses.
Okay.
Okay.
I got it.
So when these words entered into the language, they did so because capitalism was codified in 1776. And it was codified by the philosopher Adam Smith. And he gave a similitude. He said that the butcher, the brewer, the baker, and the candlestick maker, Peter Piper, he's the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, he's the maker, the breaker, and the title taker. Right. So hip hop put these little things in there, right?
Yeah.
So he said that they do not act in the general interest of the community.
Okay.
They act in something that is a pillar of capitalism called self-interest.
Okay.
Okay. What that means is that under this system, in this institutionalized economic order, the self is the primary point of reference for all economic business and all economic transactions. So with the self being the primary point of reference, capitalism evolves as an economic system that is essentially selfish, meaning it only cares about itself, even if that caring about itself means its own self-consumption. All right, Donnie, what are you talking about, man? Because you just keep talking, you just saying words, right? On Wednesday, headline, Duke Energy Corporation stock rises and outperforms the market. It closes at $91.78 a share.
That was this Wednesday.
That was Wednesday. That was
day 4 yesterday.
That was day 4. Yeah, that's what's on your mind Wednesday.
Right.
The interesting thing about that is Duke has a beginning. We know that name. We've heard that name before, right? Yep. We've all watched Duke University play basketball.
I was out there. I actually we did a trip out there.
To Durham, North Carolina.
Yeah.
So you know Durham, North Carolina.
I do.
The Duke family's patriarch is a man named George Washington Duke.
Okay.
George Washington Duke started out as a tenant farmer. And I think our listener Dan would really like this because he started out as a dirt poop kicking tenant farmer. Right?
Okay.
But he married up. And he was granted as a wedding dowry. He didn't marry a friend. He married for money.
Okay, yeah.
He was granted.
He didn't marry for love.
He didn't marry for love.
Okay.
He was granted as a wedding dowry 72 acres of land and slaves. So that
was tobacco.
This is before it was tobacco.
Okay, gotcha.
This is before it was tobacco.
I got you.
So as he became wealthy, he became a very wealthy slave owner and a very wealthy slave trader. We have documents of him as a shrewd businessman attempting to buy a baby.
Mm.
But then he goes to the block and he says, "Nah, I don't want to buy this baby. They were asking too much for him. We need to depress the value of the baby, and maybe I would purchase it."
Okay.
All right. Civil War comes along. He sells all of his assets and joins the Confederate Army.
Okay.
Confederate Navy, rather. I'm sorry. He's stationed in Charleston Harbor. The Confederate Navy gets whooped by the U.S. Navy. When they get whooped by the U.S. Navy, George Washington Duke goes to federal prison.
Okay.
So now he's a convicted felon, he's a treasonist, he's a slave owner, and he's a property owner.
Oh, wow.
Right? He supposedly walks 134 miles back to where his plantation was. Right? Gets information that, you know what, there are tobacco opportunities in Durham, North Carolina.
Okay.
So he travels to Durham, North Carolina. He remarries. The new wife also happens to die. But now, mind you, when these women die, these rich women who he marries died, he is the beneficiary. He bequeaths their estate.
Yeah.
So he gets more slaves.
Okay.
And he gets more land. Civil War is over. He doesn't get the slaves. He gets sharecropping tenants.
Okay.
So now he has tenant farmers working for him.
Mm.
And he has two of his sons, Ben and Buck. Buck's name was James Buchanan Duke.
Okay.
James Buchanan Duke becomes an early, what they call, robber baron.
Okay.
Meaning he's right up there with J.P. Morgan, Andrew Carnegie, John D. Rockefeller, and Cornelius Vanderbilt.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever played the game Monopoly, you know that one of the most valuable pieces on the board is what? The electric company.
Yeah.
So what does James Buchanan Buck Duke do? He first purchases the patent rights to the self-rolling tobacco machine. So he's making cigarettes for the first time.
Okay.
Mind you, before this, people had to roll their own cigarettes.
Yeah.
Like Bugs Bunny. Remember
Right.
Bugs Bunny used to roll his own cigarette?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So before this time, he had not had the capital infrastructure relationship to where he could invest in tobacco rolling products. He buys that out.
Okay.
And when he buys that out, he starts something called the ATC, the American Tobacco Company. And it's a holding company. If anybody in business knows, a holding company's job is just to own other businesses.
Right.
That's all it does. And he buys out a monopoly of tobacco in the United States. This is James Buchanan Duke.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wasn't the president named James Buchanan?
Yeah, he was named after him.
Okay, got it.
Worst president in history, but we'll talk about that later. who was a closeted gay man as well.
Okay.
So they called him Aunt Nancy as a derogatory term. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So we're operating. James Buchanan Duke then decides that he wants to increase his profits by devaluing the amount of money that is paid to tobacco farmers.
Okay.
And
Label, yeah.
And it sparks a war. If you've never heard of it, go to your Google right now and look up the Black Patch War in Kentucky.
The Black Patch War.
The Black Patch War in Kentucky.
Okay.
It was a war from 1904 to 1909 where Kentucky tobacco planters literally took up arms, had night riots. They had KKK members who converted themselves to pro-labor militias and burned Duke Tobacco.
Mm. Wow.
And whooped anybody who worked for Duke Tobacco, and a lot of them were black people.
I'm back.
Go ahead.
Jab said he can show you how to start a holding company.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I figured he could. I figured he could.
As an
TJ.
aside. Right.
So after this war was fought, it was a violent war. You're talking about, scores of people killed on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
He gains a monopoly of the tobacco industry.
Okay.
And ATC, the American Tobacco Company, forms, and it's one of the, at the time, biggest tobacco producers on the planet Earth.
Mm.
They're supplying the whole world with tobacco, chew tobacco, pipe tobacco, and snuff.
Right.
People are getting hooked on it. So he's dealing dope.
Pretty much.
Why? Because people are going to buy what they're addicted to.
Yep.
But he takes his money and he invested in the new Edison electricity.
Okay. Yeah, because that was the new thing then.
That was the new thing in the early 1900s.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he monopolizes it.
Okay.
So it passes down through the Duke family into the Duke subsidiaries. Now, all of our listening radio and the audience, you can't see this, and really you can't see it in our Facebook live. But what I want Brother John to do here is to look at the companies. I have a list of them here that are subsidiaries that are being controlled now by Duke Energy.
Okay.
How many of them is it, John?
Too many for me to count.
Too many to name.
Yeah.
Now, this is not just in the United States.
Yeah.
This is in the U.S.
Wow.
This is in South and Central America. This is in Canada. This is a monopoly. So when you control the supply, you control the price. Now, very, very briefly, again, I apologize for being long-winded on this, but I wanted to bring us all the way home.
It's the whole story.
It's the whole story. So Duke Energy Corporation is a corporation, meaning that it's joint owned by all of its shareholders, everybody who has stock. But the majority owner is the CEO. Okay?
Okay.
The CEO of Duke Energy, and her name is not on your bill, so don't go looking for her when you go looking on your bill.
Yeah, because I need somebody.
Somebody got to tell you something, right? But the CEO of Duke Energy is a woman named Lynn Good.
Okay. Before you get into the Jab, say, can you give us a few names off the list of companies that are
most certainly,
subsidiaries?
Most certainly, King Jab. Let me expand my screen because it's so many of them. It's very, very difficult to see. There are about 250 subsidiaries of Duke Energy, all controlled by the same board of directors. But yes, sir, bro, Jab. Let's see what we can get. Let's just go. Let's start from the top, right? You have Actividades A&D in Guatemala. You have Advanced SC LLC in South Carolina. You have Ayatua Energy in Peru. You have Ayatua Energy in Delaware. You have Atim Dimar Energy in Denmark. You have Bison Insurance Company, which is a subsidiary in Bermuda. You have Brother King Jab. You have Catacomb Energy in Scotland. You have Catacomb Sweetwater Energy in Vermont. You have literally, if you look up,
it's
and
200
SEC,
because he's doing the sea. He's just at the seas.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I skipped some.
Yeah.
And I was just at the seas.
Yeah.
So
wow.
what we should look at now then is this. They say, okay, well, why on earth are our light bills so high? Well, let's take a look.
That's the question of the day.
That's the question. Let's take a look at it. So the CEO of Duke Energy is a woman named Lynn Good.
Okay.
In 2022, Lynn Good's earnings were $21,350,000 in bonuses.
Wait, 21 million in bonuses?
Let's go down her salary.
Okay.
As chairpresident of CEO at Duke Energy, Lynn Good made $21,008,835 in total compensation. Of this, $1,481,750 was received as salary.
Okay, so she got 20 million.
Come on now. Hold on.
Bonuses.
Check this now. Check this. She received as just general bonus $2,730,073.
Okay.
$0 in stock options because she's the major shareholder. But guess what she was awarded in stock? $15,879,501.
Wow.
And then an additional $917,511 was other types of compensation. So meanwhile, how does that relate to us in the Childs Park neighborhood where I'm from?
Yeah.
The median household income, this is everyone in the house, is $41,763. But the median individual income in the homes and the apartments where the light bills are paid is $23,330 a year.
Wow.
Relative to $21 million for one person in one position who can't fix any lights if they cut off in your house.
So UB said Rick Scott made a deal with Duke Energy when he became governor.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Kiwi.
Kiwi, we might need to go see about her.
That's my daughter. Look, that's my child.
And we
That's
should
where
think
my
about it.
$1,200 light bill went to.
It's going to pad the bonuses of major shareholders in Duke Energy. This is why the light bills are so high, because they provide a needed. Imagine what happens if the hospitals lose power. Imagine what happens if the schools lose power. Imagine how many individuals who are in IC units, who are in NICU units, who are on hospice care. Well, imagine what will happen to them if they lose power. They're holding you hostage, and you will pay it because those bonuses can't come down. This is why the light bills are so high.
Why
Capitalism.
Why
is
can't
why
the bonuses
light
go
bills.
down? Because
Capitalism.
like any bonus is like, you don't get a bonus if the business don't do good.
But the
Like,
business is booming.
Business
You just
is
said
booming.
the
Because
stock is
Yep.
$91 a share
That's
right
it.
now.
Because poor people have their hands up, and every time you get that bill, you might as well get somebody coming to your door telling you stick them up, because they're putting a gun in your
I'm
face.
trying to tell you.
Could you
man.
imagine what you would lose your children? They will take your children if they're in a house that doesn't have electricity, especially in the summertime.
And
they can't cut off your, can they?
I think right now they had like a moratorium on it, and because of the heat wave, they were saying that they wouldn't be cutting off bills because of this exorbitant, heat. But yeah, if your bill was too high, I mean you still gonna owe them. You got to work something out.
My bill is high too, because my bill, and maybe not higher than most, but it's high for me.
Yeah, the business of exploitation is paying good.
Man.
Oh no, mine's not there. Mine's is like $300, but I don't have a house full of people.
Yeah,
you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That it's. I'm telling you, it's crazy just to see the increase. And what I was reading too was just like some of this increase was to UB's point about a deal that was made with with Rick Scott when he was in office, that basically gave them free reign. And then they have been using the hurricanes and saying because of Hurricane Ian and Hurricane Nicole and the damage that it took, the damage that it did, like they have to increase rates. And in some cases, I think, and I didn't see where they landed, but they were proposing like a 20% increase on your bill.
It is. It's somewhere, but it seems like it's more than that, because like prior to like 2 months ago, let's say let's say 2 months ago for sure.
Like right when the summer started.
My bill for my electric was like $147 or something like that.
I hear that.
That's the game.
It's Freestyle Friday. Caller.
Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hey, well, it's me, but I'm gonna give a solution too now.
Okay.
So now with that, the solar power game, and this became popularized through the black guys in California when they realized if they cut these people power off, how much they're willing to pay to turn it back on. So then all the energy companies said, well, it's a great deal. This and Enron and everybody jumped, but they ran away with it. But anyway, a lot of y'all can get solar power. But the thing of it is, if you buy the solar power, your insurance company will want to drop you because they don't want to insure the solar power that's on top of your house. So the option you can do is rent the solar power and have a steady bill. And that way, at least you can offset that cost of the rising cost of electric.
No, I
Energy
appreciate
costs
that.
is going to keep rising.
No,
Because
I'm glad you said that, because somebody came to my door and they was like making that pitch, but
You're skeptical.
Oh, now be careful of those.
I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. I was like,
be careful of those.
Yeah.
Now the thing with those is those guys that come to your door and pitch that, they trying to get your rebate.
Okay.
So what it is you get a 30% rebate on your taxes, and what they'll try to do is say, hey, we can get you set up right now. And then they want you to, when you get the rebate back from the solar, they in turn will take your rebate check.
Okay.
So you won't get that back.
Okay.
So
I got you.
if you and
the devil's
and
in
so
the details.
beware that. Then another thing, if you own your home, you let them put solar on your home and you paying on it. What you do not know is they go and file a UCC filing, and so now you have a lien against your property. So if you don't pay that solar off, they will take your home.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's always
so that's just some of the problems.
No, I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
but it's a benefit.
Like you
to
said,
it.
the benefit is if you can't afford to buy the panels, there is an option that you can use to rent the panels, right?
But he said don't buy them.
But don't buy. You saying don't buy them?
He said
No.
don't buy them because
No, I'm saying don't buy them because the insurance companies will drop you sometimes, which then you have to get that high insurance
Which is another
because
thing.
they don't want to insure. And this is what I say when I say they will cannibalize their own citizens. And we starting to do it too, as y'all about to vote on increasing the water bill and increasing the garbage and sanitation, because the city don't generate money from nowhere else. So we can only do anything but cannibalize our own citizens. If we don't come up with a way for our city to generate money outside of its own citizens, we can only eat our own citizens alive.
Wow.
Well, I tell you what, if
We'll
that's the
be a
case, you know,
tenant
black people
city,
be
and the
outdoors.
people that used
You
to
know,
be,
we're gonna be the
yeah.
advertisers. If the city is gonna cannibalize itself, then black folks will be the advertisers. You will not make it to the
main course.
course.
You want not the entree,
and not
you gonna make it to be to the entree.
But now
They're gonna
the
get you
other
first,
thing
We
right?
are the
is
salad.
And the
is
soup.
wait. Another thing is they have something called solar co-op,
Yeah.
and they do have money for that solar co-op. So solar co-ops, or we can do solar co-op farms where the energy produced is shared among the people that's involved in the solar co-ops.
I
And
actually
these
I
things
worked
are that
I
people
worked
that
with a gentleman who was a part of a solar co-op. He grew up as a part of it in Tallahassee, and he was still getting a check from them as a part of that co-op, the energy co-op that they had up there. So yeah, I'm familiar with that.
now.
We
And
just
one
need to
last
know the
thing,
how-tos.
that when you do get solar, if you pay for it outright, you good. You good. If you can afford to pay for it outright
Okay.
and put it on your house, you good. Then buy it. Or if you can afford to pay it off in so many payments, then buy it. But when you get solar, you have to make a deal with Duke Energy or Florida Power and Light or whoever you got to be on the solar, or you're going to wind up with two bills. One for the solar panels that you ain't paid for, and two for Duke Energy because you did not open a contract with Duke Energy to get the reverse net metering to get it. So don't just think, oh, I can go put solar on my house and then don't call Duke Energy. You must call them and enter a contract with them to let them know that, hey, I got solar power and I want this to offset your bill, or you'll wind up paying two bills.
And that goes back to what Brother Donnie, the professor, was talking about, is that monopoly where, like, even if you're trying to get off the grid, you still got to get into a contract with them in order to be off the grid in so many words.
Yes,
So you're not off the grid.
unless you do, unless you do batteries. The batteries are expensive, and that's where Tesla is coming in, and all of these people that you see. Oh, we got these batteries or
Yeah.
these Generacs or whatever. That's why they coming in with that. But the main thing, and then they'll try to push you to saying, hey, well, you don't want to pay a high electric bill, get gas. In turn, it's still an extra bill.
Right.
And the
Right.
gas companies are also
It's still
owned
an
by Duke
extra
Energy.
bill.
Yeah, they also
Duke Energy
So
also owns the
all
gas
energy companies, all
talking about
energy
expanding your
companies
gangster.
are conglomerate together. It's the Trust Act that made them say, well, hey, we can do this. And at first they was all against it. And then they realized, well, we make more money if we set up like this and have them think that we compete against each other when all the money coming to us. Which one is the better gas, Shell, Chevron, or Exxon? It don't make a difference because all of them owned by the same person.
Could he have made the
Which
investment?
one is better?
Yeah. Could George Washington Duke have made this investment if it wasn't for the exploitation of the enslaved people that he so happened to purchase?
No, he could not. Nor could Ben Hill Griffin have made what he made at the Gators if he didn't have them orange pickers over there picking them on, just doing all that.
Yes,
You
that's
know,
the truth.
conglomerate.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the
And
absolute
then
truth.
Lakeland too.
No, I appreciate that. So
So,
you,
but
while we got you, man, we deregulation, because that's another one of the things that has been a part of this conversation now too. Because Brother Donnie talked about controlling the supply.
All right, UB, I'm hanging up. Oh.
Okay, you gonna drop UB? Look, I was gonna engage UB. So one of the other things that has been a part of the conversation is there are some states where the energy is deregulated, which basically means there's multiple people who can supply your energy. It's still one distribution company because they own the pipes and all of the stuff to get it to you, but you can choose your supplier. And what happens when you're able to choose your supplier, it creates competition, which usually lowers your rates. And there are these deregulated states that have competition, which allows for the rates to be able to I mean, you got an option basically. You can shop around for your energy. Like, you know how, like what you say with stars, right?
Yeah.
The more you buy, the cheaper they are.
Yeah.
Well, if you got multiple energy companies, now they have to compete for your business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if I can go to Q, or I can go to Brother Donnie, the professor. Now you got an incentive to lower the bill to try and get my business. But when
you only have one,
like we have in Florida, because Florida is a regulated state, then you have to deal with them and you have to pay their price.
Other than the beauty that we see every day when we wake up. Why are we here in Florida?
Well, another interesting thing. Another interesting thing.
That's the professor. He's gonna tell you because we was brought here as a part of the human trafficking, commonly known as the slave trade.
Wait. Shayna just said, change your car queue. No more Tesla nightmares.
Right. But what Buck Duke did,
Mike Moore, he hit it on the head too. Monopoly.
But what Buck Duke did was he understood that he couldn't have a monopoly without controlling the land. So he bought damming rights for the Catawba River.
Okay.
And then he built, he built the sources that even if you want to negotiate with another company, they still have to get that from the land. That has to come from the water.
Because the dam is the source of production. So you're producing the energy.
That's it.
You know what this feel like to me? Have y'all ever had a necklace that got a whole bunch of knots in it? And then as soon as you think you got it,
chest hair stuck in the herringbone. Herringbone got chest hair in it.
I mean, this is what it feels like.
With a bunch of knots in it.
And then as soon as you think you got it,
it ain't it.
You know,
it's like winding up a tape with a pencil, right? Trying to find the spot that it flipped over.
Yeah.
This
is what it feels like to me. I don't know about nobody else, but this is what it.
So can I offer you all some resources? Can we talk about resources for a minute,
please.
few minutes that's available to help with these bills? And so you are familiar with these, but I just want to reiterate some of them. So the Pinellas County Urban League, and I want to give a shout out to Miss Teresa too, because I asked Miss Teresa to help us compile these resources, and she was able to get a list of things that are available. If y'all know Miss Teresa, y'all know that if you're on her email list, you're going to get a bunch of FYIs, and please share as you deem appropriate with a bunch of information about help that's for our community. So thank you, Ms. Teresa, for that. In the Pinellas County Urban League, their LIHEAP program, low income home energy assistance program, that offers and provides energy payment assistance on behalf of low income individuals and families who meet the program's eligibility requirements. And then there's 3 categories of assistance that are available. You have the home energy assistance. Then you have the crisis assistance, which helps eligible households to resolve or mitigate home energy crisis like electric or gas bills. And then you have weather-related assistance. And so if you like to do that, y'all probably know the number to Urban League. I don't have it here, but there's an email address, LIHEAP as in Peter, @pcul.org for more questions. Or you can go to their website and you'll be able to apply. There's also JWB. They have some resources that are available. The Juvenile Welfare Board. Their Family Services Initiative is another way that you can get some support. And I haven't used any of these programs, so I'm not sure what the experience is like or what they take you through, because I know that's been a thing with a lot of these programs in our community. But JWB Family Services Initiatives, if you need help paying your electric, water, or gas bill, or with other basic needs such as transportation, diapers, or pack and plays, the FSI Connect may be able to help you. You can give them a call at 727-888-HELP. 727-888.
So question, and you may not be able to answer this. Do you have to be a family like with children? Or can you be a single person?
Know.
Okay.
But I do know the number that you can call and find out.
You'll be putting the number in there. What is it?
727-888-HELP. And that's 727-888-4357.
Or Yasin.
Yeah. Yasin, that's Yasin the Dream. Put that number in there.
Yeah.
And it's actually a banner. So it's at the bottom of the screen. It's going by. And then another one is Daystar. Daystar Life Center offers help with utilities and rent as well. Says that they will actually speak on your behalf with the company. So they'll basically liaise and work out a deal for you and work to stop a disconnection. They also do that to help stop evictions. And so once the need is determined, there is some limited financial help that's given. and the check will be made payable to the company. And if you'd like to know how you can get engaged with Daystar for that support, you can go to the service location, which is right across from Jet Jackson Center, aka Wildwood. So that's 1055 28th Street, and they should be able to help you. There's also a number 727-825-0442. And then the last one that I have here as a resource, just make sure that it is the last one. It's the second to the last one. Another one is the Pinellas Opportunity Council, or the POC. The POC, they have the Emergency Services Program. They provide limited financial assistance once a year that will help to alleviate any emergency crisis situations. The services are available based on funding. And so like they have funding cycles. And so when you call them, don't be surprised if they tell you we ain't got no more money right now. But you can give them a call. They provide electric and gas payments, water payment. They actually help with rent and mortgage payments as well. But they're not able to help with deposits. So they have two contacts here. You can contact us if you're in South St. Pete, 727-822-4492. And then North St. Pete is 727-894-5176. And then I'll read this last one and then we can move off of that, y'all. The Adult Emergency Financial Assistance Program is a program that's operated by 211. And I know when I say that, some people get triggered because them 211 hold times is a job in itself sometimes. But you can give them a call. You just dial 211. And this is available for qualifying adults who need a helping hand during unexpected financial hardship. Qualifying instances of help that you can get, they'll pay past due rent to help you avoid evictions. There's emergency mortgage assistance to reduce the risk of foreclosure, utility assistance to prevent unhealthy living conditions, and then emergency transportation assistance as well. And then work-related expenses that cause unexpected financial hardship is another one of the things that are available through the Adult Emergency Financial Assistance Program at 211. So hopefully that was helpful, y'all. Again, we got it scrolling across the bottom of the screen for those who would like to see it. But those are some resources that can help you with these high blank light
And
bills.
can we post that on the page as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. We'll post it on the page.
People.
Yep.
And I mean, push come to shove, buy the high old candles because candles are high now. Cut off your lights.
Candles high too?
Oh yeah,
candles. You gotta see if Duke Energy own the candle company.
Duke own the candle company too.
Buy a couple of fans, put them in the window.
Well, no, I got that. They were saying Standard Oil, like Rockefeller, his business before electricity was kerosene. And they, because they would use the kerosene lamps, and he was really big in kerosene, and they were saying how the production of kerosene produced this byproduct that they used to just pour into rivers. They just would dump it. And then they found a use for this byproduct. They called it gas. And so with the advent of the automobile, this thing that they used to just dump in the river because they had no purpose for it became what we know them for. You know what I'm saying? Now is that so yeah, these folks are what we would call something else.
and with the nature of capitalism, know that capitalism is determined on expansion. So every quarter for a company to be considered good,
okay, yeah,
then that means it has to produce more profits than it did the previous quarter. So this machine is growing. If it does not grow, then that's considered. In other words, if they make $20 billion this quarter and they make $20 billion next quarter, they're considered a failure.
Yeah, I like how you said it. That's not good. Yeah. So if you make 20 billion last quarter, you make 20 billion this quarter. That's not good.
Yeah, you get reprimanded.
I want to put a restart button on everything.
Okay. Not just the show.
No, not just the show. Everything.
The whole Monopoly board.
Yes.
Yeah. You want to start the Monopoly board over?
All over.
Yeah. And then when you start the board over, maybe we can all start at the same time.
Yes.
Because what happened is there's a segment of our population that went around the board, bought up all the land, stole it all, while we got to go to jail, not pass go. And they did that for 400 turns.
Right.
And then we got to roll.
And now we're trying to catch up like 400.
We were in jail. We were in jail for those 400
We was in jail for them 400 turns. And then when you get out of jail, every spot you land on is owned by somebody else.
And you know what I just felt like just doing it? I feel like I was at one of Donnie workouts.
Okay.
Out of breath,
just
trying
that
to catch
running,
up.
trying to catch up. Just know that going forward, you're going to be on camera, whether you like it or not. I just said that publicly.
That reset button has a name, though.
What is it called?
Revolution.
That's
the change that's necessary to bring in justice.
I'm laughing because the book of the day when we talked about the last poets, and revolution,
and who is scared?
Who's scared of revolution? Yeah.
According to Abiel Doom.
Yeah, that's what that was, Brother Donnie. So now can we do the book of the day?
We can. Yes,
we didn't do the book of the day yet.
No, because it was actually connected.
Bloviating.
Yeah.
Oh,
what's the word you used?
Bloviating.
Bloviating. What that mean?
I got on a tangent. The spirit hit me. I was in the spirit.
Oh, in the spirit. the academic way of saying that is bloviating.
He was on his soapbox.
Okay, that's what it is.
That's what
bloviating means?
Yeah, he was on his soapbox.
Okay, bloviating. I got to look that one up. That's what the professor was doing, and I appreciate it. So the book of the day. The book of the day segment is being brought to you by the Barbershop Book Club. The Barbershop Book Club helps to motivate kids by offering a free haircut and a free book for those who read it out loud while they're getting trimmed up. You can follow Central Station Barbershop on Facebook to learn more about the initiative or to donate culturally relevant books for children. Today's book of the day.
Today's book of the day is written by two of my heroes, one of my really, really big heroes. The book is called Consequences of Capitalism, Manufacturing Discontent and Resistance. It's written by the great Noam Chomsky and Marv Waterstone. I don't want to give this one away because it's one that I think everybody should read. And Kiana would say, I would say it's a fantastic read because I always call every book
is a fantastic read.
Because reading is fantastic.
No, I heard you say one. It's like, no, it's a horrible book. Don't read it.
I did, probably.
I remember you saying one of them was just hard. It was hard. It was a good book, but it was hard to read.
But I knew this was going to be a little different because he said really, really.
Okay. 2 times.
Yes, he did.
But much of what we understand as common sense is actually the will and the bidding of the ruling class. And getting out of that mentality sometimes means getting out of the mentality of believing that something is common sense. I mean, there was a book by Defarge that was written. It was called The Value of Being Lazy.
Okay.
Right? We live in a society that teaches us that laziness, quote unquote, is one of the most disgusting traits a human being can have. If they're lazy, if they don't feel as quote unquote industrious enough, meaning if they don't want to exploit themselves at the point of production. And this is the reality that we face every day. But that benefits a certain group of people. You were speaking on Wednesday, I think it was. No, might have been Monday. Monday, Money Making Motivation Monday, about not being able, coworkers, not being able to talk about their payment.
Right.
How they're compensated.
Yep.
And that being seen as something that's taboo in the workplace. Well, I don't want, no. And if a manager hears of this information, especially in a state like Florida, you can be released just like that.
Yep.
What does that do? That allows a work environment that's essentially hostile. Why? Because everyone is confused. Whenever you have confusion, then you have a hostile environment, one against the other. So what Chomsky and Waterstone do in Consequences of Capitalism is they make us reassess what is common sense.
So are you saying kind of because you got to work hard, not smart?
People, I mean, they'll say that, right? They'll say work hard, not smart. Individuals that come up with all kind of cliches. A good one is, if we remember, call it give me like 5 seconds here. You remember the couplet, Jack of all trades, master of none? You heard that growing up?
But go to the second line.
Because it's a quatrain, right?
Yeah.
It's Jack of all trades, master of none, but still better than being master of one.
Got to finish that one.
But the society has twisted it to make us think that somehow a polymath is a bad thing.
Right.
A polymath.
Hello, caller. Introduce yourself.
Hey, this is Miss Peanuts in the building, man. I just want to quote a direct quote from the book of They,
Okay.
written by Brother John and Reno Moore.
Yes, sir.
The book of They says that common sense is a cop out for low intelligence. Because what you're insinuating is that everyone shares the same common experience, and we don't.
Ooh.
100%.
Ooh.
All right,
when you
King
can't articulate yourself through a situation, you just cop out and say, man, he should have knew it, man. It was common sense.
There you go.
Peace the ancient way, y'all. Back to the radio I go.
Right on. Appreciate it. Thanks for calling, King Reed. Appreciate you always, man.
Yeah, so that's the book of the day. I would definitely say that somebody should grab it. Shout out to our young phenom,
Yes.
Yassine Siraj, who is Yassine the Dream.
Yeah.
Who is helping us out on the ones and twos on the production side.
Yeah, on the back end.
He on right.
I'm sure he's on it.
Yeah, he on it. Yeah. He is on it.
Oh, he like boop, 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 boop.
Yeah, he is on it. So if y'all seeing a little more engagement on the screen, it's because we got Yassine the Dream working behind the scenes. Yeah. That's what's up.
And you be say work smart, not hard. I'm with that. Like I believe in working.
Smart?
Yeah, I'm believe in working smart.
Why you can't do both? Can you work smart and hard? That's another one of them.
You can.
I mean, you know what I mean?
But
like you can work smart and work hard.
But
too.
I feel like when you work smart, you working hard. Like, never mind.
Yeah. Why do we believe in hard work?
Okay.
But you define what hard work is, because I'm not doing manual labor.
Agree.
Like I'm not out there like I'm not doing none of that.
Yeah, well, that's. I mean,
and that's what they consider hard
even when
work.
you talk about hard work. Now we're finna get into this philosophical space again. But like, who said work was work and play was play? Like, why can't play be work?
So this is I agree.
It's like, who said that?
But like I feel like my work that I do, like when somebody clocks out, they're done.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I ever clock out.
I haven't had a job like that in a long time.
Like I feel like
Good morning, Sharonda.
I
Good to see you.
rarely clock out.
Yeah. I haven't had a job like that where I leave work and my work is done in a long time. Like, and there was this point in my life where it was like I actually envied people who like can just leave their job and their job is done. Like once you go home or once you clock out, you don't think. I mean, you think about it, you talk about it, but like you don't have to do anything
until you clock
until
back.
you go back to work. I don't have a job like that.
I don't have a job like that either.
Yeah.
Right.
So you have to create those types of boundaries. You have to establish, okay, now I'm working, now I'm not.
But I know that I can't be one of those people.
Okay.
Like I don't
but
think I
can. This is what I'm learning. Like just because I don't have a job like that, don't mean that I can't clock out.
Right.
And so,
I've
been clocking out. Because it's like, even though I don't hit the clock, I need to hit the clock.
Yeah. And what Chomsky and Waterstone would say in this is that if we have the means to produce everything that we work for, why on earth are we working? And what he would say is that we are working because we're given the incentivization of enriching rich people.
That's the incentive to work.
That's the incentive to work, is to enrich rich people. That's why things like customer service, things like being kind and being congenial, and all of these things that does not usually increase the pay that you receive in that particular interaction. But you're told to do that because that gives a really good show of the people who own or are leasing your labor. If you think about it, if hard work really paid off, then the CEO of Duke Energy would be on the phone when you call whenever your lights go out. And she would drive right to your home and she would fix your lights.
They say the job is to organize yourself out of a job.
I think, and it's also like hard working at what? Like, because I think, work is force times distance, right? And so it's all about what you're doing. That when we talk about hard work, like hard working for somebody else has never really paid off in a substantive and generational way for us, right?
So I kind of left what you call corporate America because I felt like it didn't care about me, right? Or anybody.
Yeah.
Like you'll work, you'll give, and then as soon as you can't give no more, you're like thrown away.
Pretty
Boom,
much.
right? And so like I know for me at this point in my life, it might change because things happen. But I don't think I could ever go back to a traditional like 9 to 5 where I have a schedule where like I don't dictate what I do. Like I'll feel like I'm in prison, like I can't breathe. Like, it's not for me anymore. I did it. I conquered it, and now I'm out.
Yeah.
Why do we assume that exploitation is just something that quote unquote comes with the job? Exploitation doesn't have to come with the job.
It
Like,
doesn't.
notice she made $15 million in just stock
Mm-hmm.
and basically in dividends.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do to earn a dividend? You buy something, right?
Right.
So you mean to tell me her purchasing stock was enough work to earn her $15 million? No.
Nah. Yeah, I think it is disproportionate, and it's out exchange is what we would say.
I really can. I'm my faces. I can just see my faces, even though I can't see my faces.
We gonna see them now, so make sure that
and
you're
if
ready.
y'all don't know, I really talk with my hands, and I like new movement. Y'all know I make sounds, right?
The mystery cue.
And now they're gonna be on. I don't know if I'm ready to be back, but oh well.
All right, are you ready for Ask Kiana?
I guess. Do I have a choice?
You do. You always have a choice.
If I say no, are you still gonna read it? No, go ahead, read it anyway.
Okay, that's how I go. Look at capitalism, the illusion of choice.
That's what it is. Manufactured consent.
Manufactured consent. All right, so Ask Kiana. Hold on. So Ask Kiana is brought to you by the One Community Grocery Co-op. The One Community Grocery Co-op is a way that we can take control of our community and take control of the fate. So if you'd like to learn more about the One Community Grocery Co-op, you can go to ocgc.coop, ocgc.coop, and you can learn more about the movement to establish a community-owned grocery store in St. Petersburg. Ask Kiana. All right, Kiana. I'm really struggling with my social media usage, and it's starting to take a toll on my daily life.
Mm-hmm.
While some of my time is spent on work-related tasks and promoting my business, I find myself getting lost in endless scrolling and distractions. It's affecting my productivity and focus, and I'm having a hard time getting a grip on it. How can I strike a balance between using social media for work and preventing it from becoming a time-wasting addiction? Your guidance would be incredibly valuable to me.
Okay. Throw away your phone. No, I'm just joking.
just throw your phone in the garbage.
Throw it away.
In the garbage.
Throw it away. Yeah, in the
Throw it
garbage.
away, man.
In the garbage.
You don't need it. You don't need it. No, you know what? It's about setting boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The thing is so you have to be, this is about discipline.
Yeah.
Right. And if you got to really set boundaries.
Yeah.
If you have to set timers, put your phone somewhere else for a little while, like say, hey, I'm going to take the phone out the room with me for an hour.
Okay.
Because some people have that temptation if they have it with it with them.
So remove the temptation.
Remove the temptation is the first step.
Sharonda said, did I write this one?
Because social media takes over our life. Like you find, as soon as you wake up, you pick up your phone and you look to see what you scroll real quick.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
So I'll tell you, what's your first social media? So my social media habit right now is when I first look at it in the morning, I look at the memories.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's my first action of the day when it comes to social media. I'm looking at what did I post on this day last year?
Mm-hmm.
And then I scroll through the memories, and then if it's something that I want to share or something. So that's kind of my first action of social media before I actually get in and get going. I'm checking the memories, and I'm kind of hooked on that.
I don't really know. Like I just
jump in.
I just kind of jump in. It's something whatever catch my eye at that point.
Okay.
Like if I
that's the way it was designed too, by the way.
Right. So that's what I do.
Yeah, that's
right.
That's the way it was designed.
But I will tell you, I'm not one of them people. Like I use social media, but I'm one of them people who like can miss the whole day on social media.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I don't go on Instagram all day. Facebook will probably be my favorite because that's the one I go to more than anything else. I don't use Twitter, or now formerly known as Twitter is X.
Yep.
Even though I have a membership to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to tell you, it's about discipline. And then setting those boundaries for yourself will be the only thing that I can really give you. Do you have any suggestions?
Look, I'm like Sharonda. I could have wrote this letter myself because I think like you right on with setting boundaries. The one of the things that I saw was like having phone free zones.
Right. I like that.
You know what I'm saying? And so like having a space where it's like, okay, ain't no phones in here. So whether that's at your dinner table, whether it's your bedroom, whether it's some space in your home where it's like, okay, this is a device free zone, and just designating that, putting it somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Or
I think dinner, like when you're like engaging with somebody, like you shouldn't have like your phone should be up somewhere.
It's a practice though. It's like
it is because it's like glued at our hip, and so we like the phone ring. Like we're never not attached to our phone typically.
Another one of the tips too, they said that when I was looking at that was like turning off the notifications so that you don't get the direct notifications to your phone, like only having the notification show up in the app, and so you don't get pinged every time somebody tag you or somebody share something, because that's another one of the ways that even if you out, when your phone go off,
Ping, you
look,
ping.
and then boom, and then the journey begins. Because they did the research, they were saying that they scrolled it. I mean, they designed it to scroll like this because there's this idea that you don't know what's next. And so it appeals to your curiosity because you don't know what's going to come up. And then the proof of concept is once you start to get to where you start to see the same things, you'll refresh it so that you get a new mystery. Because the whole addiction is not knowing
and then
what's around the corner.
And so you think you're going to miss something. Like, so that's why people sleep with their phones in their bed.
Yeah.
Or right there on the nightstand. Like, you should have a phone free zone. I like that.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the night, you collect all phones. This is where it's at. And then we don't pick up the phone. We don't get the phone until like 6 o'clock.
I remember a friend of mine told me that what they did was they had, when you go to dinner, they'll put a basket on the table and put the phones in it. And whoever pick up the phone first is the one who got to pay.
Oh, I like.
He's sitting there arms crossed all night.
All night.
Be done paid.
I'm not going to do it.
That's a good way to get kicked out of a restaurant. Sit around there, bring some more bread.
Hey, what y'all doing? What we got going on?
I'm not going to do it.
I just grabbed the basket, right?
Do you have any
Brother Dennis,
suggestions?
I do. First things first is I absolutely love social media.
Yeah.
Because it gives me an opportunity to be in somebody else's face.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if the person that is dealing with this were able to radicalize their views, then they would understand that they have a great opportunity with them being able to be on social media that much.
Yeah.
Don't look at it as your master. Start looking at it as your servant. Let social media serve you.
Right on.
I'm a teacher, so I'm big on images. I'll hit you with 1,000 images of beautiful women, and in the caption, it'll be a bit of truth in there that you can take and move forward if you follow me. If you don't follow me, my pages are private, so good luck. So my thing is that
I get distracted by them images though. I don't know.
And you should. That's part of the psychology behind it. I'm bypassing our amygdalas right here.
Okay.
I'm teaching us some chairs and bears. We're scrolling like a slot machine. You have to understand the ghost in the machine.
Right.
You have to understand the genius that pushes it, and then exploit that to your advantage. And what that advantage is for me is to give somebody a lesson, to teach somebody something. This is what I was put on the planet to do, right? So if you know that let's say
somebody else said that too. Them images do be distracting.
Listen, that's how we do it. Because if it's one thing that should distract you, it should be exactly what evolution has given us in the form of beautiful women. My goodness, you're looking at hundreds of thousands of years of perfection and selection whenever you see that. So I always tell men, listen, that's for you to look at for a reason, and for you to love, and for you to procreate with, and for you to build houses and homes and families and communities and lives and nations, because we need all of us for our solutions. Every one of our solutions have come from a woman in the form of a human being. So take what you have and flip it, make it work for you.
I agree.
I like that.
I like it.
Sharonda, she said, I go to my memories, then I go to make my post schedules for the day, for the business I have access to, then my own stuff or my husband's stuff, then I'm off for a few hours. My notifications are definitely off, but it's so much. If want I do, I have to be on it. Yeah. But it's so much of what I do, I have to be on it. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And that's what happened when you're doing promotions and stuff like that. You gotta kind of constantly promote. But but that's a good thing because you're using it to,
it's productive.
Right. And you're using it to get some type of revenue in.
Right.
Some people go on social media just to be nosy.
Yeah, just scrolling and
and want to know the,
So another one of the things I'm glad Sharonda posted that because it talks about scheduling posts because you can use tools like if you do have a business like you, and I'm playing with that now. Like where you can schedule posts, days and even weeks in advance so that you don't have to be there for it. It'll automatically go according to a schedule. So just being intentional with your use, being clear on your why. My wife is real big on the why, and so just like knowing what your why is, what's my reason for being here. And if you like, I even do that and ask myself, I'll be at work and then I hit the tab with social media on it. And I'm like,
why I'm here.
Yeah. What am I doing right now?
Yeah.
What am I here for?
Can I be doing something else?
No, I'm supposed to be doing something else. Let me get out of here.
And you know what? So
like I know I'm supposed to be. I know I'm supposed to be. I know I'm supposed to be doing something else.
And so what I will tell you is start in small increments, especially if you are on social media a lot. Like start with like a 10-minute, 15 minutes, and then set your timer, conquer that, then expand it to 30. I'm going to tell some people can go cold turkey and do it.
Yeah.
But then it looks like they need rehab. Right? They jonesing over there.
Scratching.
And then you set yourself up for a struggle that you don't really have to be in.
Right, you don't.
Yeah.
And so it's unnecessary stress that you don't have. But set small boundaries, conquer those, and then increase. So the thing is once you do that small boundary, like if you can do 10 minutes, don't ever go under those 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So whatever you did the day before, make sure you do that or more.
And then there's tools that you can use to track that too. That's another one of the tips that it gives.
Your phone tell you.
Yeah, it'll tell you what your screen time is. And so you gamify it and say, okay, I'm going to have less time today than I had yesterday. And then just be intentional about pursuing that. Looks like it's 8:59. That means we got to do final thoughts, y'all.
You know what it's going to be. You know what it's going to be.
Expand
your gangster. If you're being oppressed, learn your oppressor. If you have a system of oppression, understand how that system works and understand that you can't be afraid of getting yourself out of that. Expand your gangster, y'all.
Join us again if you were planning on coming out to the canvas tomorrow. It has been canceled, unfortunately. I know y'all was looking forward to it, but we'll be back next weekend. Reminder that the business district is up. You're going to start seeing us doing the countdown. New deal for St. Pete reunion is in the queue. There's more that needs to be done and needs to be said. So I just want to thank y'all for tuning in.
Yes. Be the change you want to be or see. Sing, Puff, and Paint next Saturday.
Okay.
Be looking because I think we're gonna do a promo.
Okay.
So get your tickets. So yeah, it's gonna be a great evening out. Write down those 5 things that made you smile, giggle, laugh, made you feel good. And we'll see y'all on Monday.
Yeah. Up next is Sister Hughes. Make you lose your shoes. Shout out around the house. What's the name of the show?
Total Praise.
Total Praise.
This has been the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I'm your brother John.
This is Kiana.
This is Intellectual Gangster, your brother Donnie the Professor.
We out. We out.